Hey everybody, Dave here from Wags Automotive, and well, today's the day. What are we gonna do? We got a special video for you guys today. We're gonna do a first start on this 48 Chevy truck. We're gonna get her going. Today's video is brought to you by Dave's Truck Parts, right? Because Dave's Truck Parts, there's a lot of Dave's Truck Parts on this truck. All right guys, let's take a quick look at what we got here. We'll get started. Okay, so we got her all together. Looking nice. You guys saw me do the spark plug wires on the last video. And I guess I ought to put the radiator cap on before we get started here, huh? That'd probably be a good idea. All right, let me put that on real quick. Come on, go on there. There we go. All right. I'll check all the fluids. I'm blocking my view here. Sorry about that. Okay, got the radiator cap on. Check all the fluids. I check the radiator. Check the oil. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but yep, she's right up to the full mark and dripping on the fender well there. That's okay. All right, now I talked to you guys about everything I've done to make sure this engine breaks in right. Okay, right? So all the extra zinc product I put in the engine, the grease I put on everything. We got the zinc oil in it. We got the zinc additive in it. I used the drill to pre-lube it. You saw me do that. And then after I got done doing that and I put the distributor in it, there's several times I've cranked it over to get it, to continue to lubricate it with the distributor. We had, just cranking it with the starter, we had 50 pounds of oil pressure, so we're good. We had 75 and we're using the drill, so we got plenty of oil pressure. All right, we bled the brakes, so we got brakes now. And we got water running all over the ground here. I need this cardboard over here because I want to show you guys the last thing I'm going to do before we start this thing. All right. Okay. Get that out of the way. All right. Trying to figure out if we need anything else. We got transmission fluid. I filled the transmission up. Got 10 quarts of fluid in that. That should be good. Now, what do you want to do when you're ready to start your engine? All right. Couple things here. So we got a battery charger going on the battery in case we need it. Now if you got your alternator connected, that's fine. You probably won't need a battery charger, but we got one because I don't have my alternator connected. All the wiring that's on this truck right now is just temporary because it's going to the body shop. When it comes back, I'll put a full wiring harness in it, but we're not gonna do that right now. So I got a battery charger hooked up to it. I got a big fan in front of the radiator here, ready to be turned on to blow air onto the radiator if necessary to keep it cool. We've got the fan there that I put in front of the radiator, and I got a temporary switch right here. See this right here? So you can hear the fan running. So when it starts getting warmed up, we'll turn the fan on. If that ain't enough, we got a backup fan there. And if that ain't enough, we got a garden hose right here that we can spray water into the radiator to keep it cool, because you want to keep it running for 20 minutes. You want to do that, okay? All right, so what do we do now? What's one more thing that I'm going to do before we start this engine? All right, you guys remember, if you remember my welding video back when I did a welder up, I showed you these magnets that I bought from Lowe's for like $4.50. All right, these are heavy magnets, ceramic magnets. I'm going to take them and I am going to do this with them. And I recommend you guys do this too if you ever break it in an engine. I'm going to crawl underneath the truck here. All right. I'm going to take these two magnets, and Bear wants some attention. He's laying here next to me. Hi, Bear. He's like, what are you doing? All right, we're going to get underneath the truck here, crawl under here, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to take these magnets. They're sticking together. Dang it. I'm trying to do this one-handed. And we're going to take one of these magnets and we're going to stick it right straight to the oil filter like that. Okay? And then we're going to take the other magnet and we're going to stick it right straight to the oil pan, right next to the drain plug. See that? So we got one stuck to the oil filter and one stuck to the drain plug. And any ferrous metal that comes out of this engine is going to stick to the other side of the metal on those magnets, and when we drain the oil, those magnets will hold any of that metal in and it won't go back into the engine. So that's a good idea. I've done this in the past before and it works really well. So you stick your magnets on there and it helps retain any ferrous metal that may or may not come off the engine. I'm not saying it will, but if it does, the magnet will catch it. All right. That's very important. Sorry, I'm getting up underneath the truck here. All right. I'm going to get you guys in here where you can see what's going on. It's very important. Whoop, I kicked my stand there, sorry. It's very important that you try to keep your truck running for 20 minutes, okay? It's very important that you do that. So if you can keep it running for 20 minutes at least, that's great. That's why you want to take all these precautions ahead of time. Make sure you know, obviously I haven't checked my timing because I haven't started the truck. I haven't adjusted the carburetor. I'm hoping that they're both close and good, but we'll see when we start it up. It may start right away. It may, you know, I may have to adjust the distributor a little bit to get it to start. I don't know, because what I did is I just put it on the top dead center number 1. I put the rotor where it's pointing at the number 1 mark, and that's as close as I can get for timing. Like I said, the carburetor, I don't know anything about that. It's a brand new carburetor, so we'll see how it goes. All right, I think we're ready here. So let's go ahead and start it up. You want to monitor. Remember, I got my gauges inside. We want to monitor those while we're running it. Hold on just a second. All right. And I am going to open up my clock, get my timer out, and I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes. Okay, and once it starts, we will start the timer. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. Wait a minute. I need a screwdriver. I gotta be able to set the idle up. I'm going to turn up the idle a little bit right now. Go ahead and turn it up so that it's higher than normal, because we want it to idle fast. I'm going to turn this screw until I see the throttle start to move. There we go, it's moving now. See that? There we go. I don't know how high I want it, but I want it up there a little bit. All right, we're going to try that. And we have got, I forgot to show you guys this. We've got an old school Craftsman engine analyzer here. So it's got RPMs right there, see that? So we want to get it up here to where it's between 2,000 and 3,000, right there. So we want 2,500 RPMs for 20 minutes, all right? Oh, I just unplugged it. All right, he's gonna plug it in. My brother's here to help me. You wanna watch for any fluid leaks, any problems anywhere. Just want to make sure everything's good to go. Okay, so I think we're ready here now. All right. Good to go? Yeah. All right, we got our timer. Let's crank it over and see if it'll start. to keep it cool. Keep an eye on our temperatures. What? 5,500? Now? Nah, that's no way. Alright, want to look for fluid leaks. Make sure we don't have any oil leaks. Everything looks good underneath. Under there. Are you kidding me? Not running hot. 200 degrees. There's water, isn't it? We got water coming out our overflow for some reason. Oh. Got a little bit of transmission fluid leaking, but not much. Alright, I gotta put this up here on the stand. Look at my fuel pressure. because the fans aren't enough, but it's at 190 degrees. We still got 50 pounds of oil pressure, which is great. That sounds a little rough, and I'll show you why. I'm not going to shut it off because of it. Got a spark plug wires, a couple spark plug wires that are burned. You can see it arcing. So they're shorted out against the headers, so those two cylinders aren't firing consistently, but I'm not going to stop it because of that. I'm going to keep it going. My fuel pressure was low, but I got it turned back up to 6 pounds of fuel pressure. So it's looking good so far. This is what you got to do, guys. You got to have all this stuff ready so you can keep it cool. That's the biggest thing, is if it overheats, you shut it off, you're done. You got to keep it cooled off. 190 degrees, that's good. 50 pounds of oil pressure. Oh, and I set my timer for 20 hours instead of 20 minutes, but we're 14 minutes into it, so we got about 5 more minutes to go. There's a little bit of steam from the water coming through the radiator. Other than that, looking good. This thing here is, I don't know what's going on with it. It's way off for some reason. Continue to spray water in the radiator. Temperature staying nice and cold. 990 degrees is great. Not overheating on us. We've got good oil pressure. We're going to keep it going. Got about 4 more minutes. You hear the backfiring? That's because those spark plug wires are burned up. But like I said, that's okay. I'm not worried about that. You know, as long as we got it going, we're going to keep it going. I'm worried about the camshaft. I'm not worried about the spark plug wire. Still good. We're a little below 190 on the temperature. Continuing to spray water in the radiator. Oil pressure is 50 degrees. That's great. You hear some ticking there? That's because I only tightened the lifter or the rocker arms. I only tightened them down a quarter of a turn. After this is all done, I let it cool down. I'll probably readjust them so they're tighter, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Here, backfired because those spark plug wires are burned, but that's okay. We got 6 cylinders that are firing good and 2 that are firing intermittently, but that's okay. We're not going to worry about that. We're just going to keep going. All right, we want to get it down to where it says 40 minutes. So 20 hours minus 40 minutes is 19 hours and 40 minutes. I set it for hours instead of minutes, but we're almost there. Got less than 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes left. Check our vitals again. Water temperature. temperature's good, 190. Oil pressure 50 pounds, that's good. Walk around, look for any kind of problems. Other than these two spark plug wires, I don't see any problem with anything else. We'll have to fix that. I'll have to buy new plug wires or something for that. That's no big deal. We can do that. To redo those. You gotta be really diligent on this, guys. You gotta be prepared, especially have a water hose ready. Yep, we're good. All right, we got a minute and a half. Almost there. Looks like it's gonna make it. Adjust the timer of the carburetor, just started right up. I was completely amazed. But I've done this a few times too, so that helps. All right, let's look at our timer. Look at our vitals first. Still got 50 pounds of oil pressure. Temperature's below 190. Looking good. 30 seconds. Seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woohoo! We did it! 20 minutes! Alright! Woo! Alright, put you guys up here so I can turn the idle down. We did it! 20 minutes! We got her going and made it 20 minutes. I was kind of worried when those spark plug wires started burning up, but they're okay. So we're good to go. Let me turn this fan off. The switch got so hot it won't turn off. Quit. All right, guys. So my toggle switch on the fender well got so hot I guess it stuck on. So I had to cut the wire going to the fan, but we did it. What do you think? We got her broke in. She's running a little rough because those two spark plug wires, but we'll get that fixed, no problem. We got her 20 minutes in. I let it idle for a couple minutes afterwards. I wanted to let it run a little longer, but it's running a little rough. The timing hasn't been set, and I need to fix those spark plug wires. So I'm gonna let it cool down. We take those spark plug wires off, and I'll show you guys what they look like. I'll make it addition to this video and show you what they look like when we pull them off. But this thing's hot. I mean, my oil pressure was around 20 pounds when it was idling. But I mean, the oil in there is 30 weight oil. It's really hot because it's been running for 20 minutes, so that's perfectly normal. It's okay. We got good oil pressure, even at idle. So we're gonna let it cool down. I'm going to get another switch for the fan, fix those spark plug wires, and then we'll adjust some things and we'll start it back up again for you guys. All right, thanks for watching. Got her done. Talk to you later. Hey guys, well, I don't know if you watched my break-in video or not, but we had a successful break-in. Ran the engine 20 minutes, and we had a couple of little issues. If you watch that, we had some spark plugs, wires get a little hot on us and kind of burn up, and I started kind of backfiring a little bit because I wasn't happy, but I wasn't going to stop the test because you need to run them 20 minutes. And like I said, you guys, like I said in that last video, I was going to add this to the video, but I'm going to make it separate because I got something I want to talk to you about that's probably going to be controversial, but that's okay. But anyhow, like I said, you got to be prepared for whatever's going to happen whenever you do a first start on an engine. Because if you stop the break-in before the 20 minutes is up, you could possibly not succeed in breaking in the cam. And of course, we won't know whether this cam broke in correctly or not for a while because it's got to be driven. But I'll show you here what we did yesterday. After I did the break-in, I'll show you what we did. And this is going to be my last video on this truck because I'm going back home and I got stuff to do there. I want to get my 1,000 horsepower Vega out for you guys because you guys seem to love that. So that's one thing I definitely want to start working on. But anyhow, all right, let's look at the truck. Take one last look at it before I go home. So here's how she's headed to the body shop. The body shop guy is going to put the doors on, put the hood on, put the front end, the grill together in the front. He's going to paint the inside of the cab. He's going to paint the firewall and probably the inner fenders, and of course the outside of the truck. He's going to take the bed off to paint it, of course, so he can get to the back of the cab and the front of the bed. But it's going to him here in a few weeks, and he's going to do that. And I'll come back down here later this year and finish it up. But it looks really nice. Bo came over yesterday, and we went for a ride in this truck with no doors and no seat belts and no windows in it, and it was cold. But he was smiling the whole time. He loved it. So I think she looks pretty good. You know, it looks like a truck now, whereas just a few days ago it was just a frame when I started putting that motor in it. So I got some hours in it, but it's looking pretty good. You guys like it? What do you think? What do you think about what I've done so far? So, and Bo really liked that steering column. He's glad I put that in there. He's like, man, I don't want to count. I can see what gear I'm in now. All right, now, if you guys remember, during the video on the passenger side here, we had a couple plug wires that got hot on us, okay? And my brother was wondering why it burned those wires up. Well, I'm not sure exactly why, but probably one reason it burned them up was because we ran this engine at 2,500 RPMs for 20 minutes, and it was, you know, there's no airflow other than the fan was blowing in there. And of course the fan, you know, the fan behind the radiator was blowing, but we had that auxiliary fan blowing too. But if you guys watch the video, I don't know, about 5 minutes or so into it, the temperature on the temperature gauge started climbing up above 210. I didn't want it to get too hot, so I started spraying water into the radiator from the garden hose that I had. And I told you guys, have a garden hose ready. And so my brother took the hose over and he just kept spraying water to the radiator, and temperature dropped down to 195 and stayed there the whole time we were running this test. But these two plug wires burned up, so we were running on 6 cylinders. But I think part of the reason they burned up was because my timing was off a little bit, and it could have caused a little bit of a heat condition in the engine. And that's probably one reason why the temperature started rising the way it did, because I mean, when you do a break-in, you don't adjust the carburetor, you turn the distributor to get the timing you need until it'll start, but once it starts, you leave it alone. So the time, I didn't have a timing light to check the timing because it was turning 2,500 RPMs anyhow. I couldn't check the timing. So the timing is a little off. I think that's the problem. But here's what's left of that stuff. I pulled it out of them sleeves. You can see it melted that pretty good. Burned those spark plug wire ends up pretty bad and fried them out. So anyhow, I was going to go buy a set of plug wires and just use a couple of them out of it to replace those two. But believe it or not, my brother, who never saves anything, had these up in his loft in his garage. These came off of a car that belonged to his neighbor. He had a T Roadster or something, and he didn't like these wires. He didn't like the yellow ones. He wanted to put a different set on there. So they put new ones on there, and these here aren't that old. And my brother's like, well, I'll take them. I'll just throw them up my head in case I need a plug wire. Well, guess what? They're the exact same wires that were on the truck. So these get to go in the trash, and we got 2 real nice wires on there. Now these sleeves, they got a little burn spot on them there, but they're fine. I'm going to leave them on there. They're okay, so they're good to go. Let's pull the dipstick out and see what our oil looks like after that break-in period. It should look pretty good. Yep. See, it's still nice and clear. I don't see any metal in it. And remember, I got those magnets on the bottom of the oil filter and the bottom of the oil pan. So if there's this thing's been sitting overnight, so anything that's in there, if it drops down, which it should, that's going to be attracted to that magnet. And what you want to do, of course, when you change oil, you take the magnet off. And when you drain the oil out of the engine, you pull the magnet off, and then the stuff runs out with it's already in the bottom of the pan. It runs out with the oil. So that's the whole premise behind that. Now, if you guys don't want to do the magnet thing, that's fine. You do it your way. But I like using the magnets because anything that's ferrous, it's going to grab it and hold on to it. It's not going to continue to circulate through the engine. So I think that's a good idea. Comment below. Tell me what you guys think. I kind of like that. So I'll tell you what, let's fire this thing up and hear how it sounds now that we got the new spark plug wires on it. Go ahead. Starts right up. Still got a little bit of a tick, so I need to adjust the lifters a little better, but I haven't done that yet, but it'll be okay for now. What do you guys think? You like that sound? And Bo was worried about how loud it was going to be. He didn't know what mufflers he wanted on it. And I told you guys I got these turbo mufflers on here. Of course, you can see them down there. See, there's one right there. There's another one right there. That one's hard to see. But he liked the way it sounded. He thought it was a little loud. But I told him, I said, you run tailpipes all the way out the back bumper here, and it'll take a lot of that noise out. But I think he's going to leave those on there. I think he liked them, so that's pretty cool. He got a pair of free mufflers. That's a good deal for him. So anyhow, I am headed back to BFM, and I'm done with this truck for now. I'll be back in the fall to finish it after it gets down to the body shop. It's not going to the body shop right away because he's got other things going on. So it'll probably be a couple months before it goes in there, a month and a half before it goes in there, and then I'll probably have it another month. So it'll be, close to June before he gets it done anyhow. So, but anyhow, it'll go to the body shop, and then it's going to go to Bo's house and sit at his house. And then when I come back in the fall, I'm going to, I still got to put the wiring harness in it. I got to put the lights in it. I got to put the wood in the bed. I got to put the stereo system in it. Put the dashboard, all the stuff that goes in the dash, all that's got to go in it. So all that will be done in the fall, and then we'll finish it up and give it back to Bo. But Bo was really excited yesterday. He was really happy. So I'm glad you like it, Bo. I've done everything I can to make you happy. So hope you like it. All right, guys, that's the end of this video for the 48 for now. And keep watching, subscribe to my channel, because when I get home, we're gonna get out that 1,000 horsepower Vega and see what happens. It's gonna be crazy. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye. Wait a minute. I forgot about my controversial subject I wanted to talk about. Now, I've read online that when you break an engine in, as soon as you break it in, you're done with your 20-minute run, you should drain the oil out of it and put fresh oil in it. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that philosophy, and here's why. When I was taught how to build engines when I was younger, I was always told that the braking oil that you put in it, you want to leave it in it for the first 500 miles. Okay, you break it in, you drive it 500 miles, and you change the oil. And the reason I say that, and the reason I still believe that now, is because if you think about it, this engine right now has got more zinc in it now and phosphorus than it'll ever see in its entire life, because it's got zinc oil in it, it's got zinc additive in it, it's got all that zinc grease I put in there. It's got tons of zinc in it right now. So if I drain all that out and I put just plain old oil in it, then all it's got is oil that's got the zinc in it, whatever zinc content the oil is, which is good. I mean, I could put braking oil back in it again and add more zinc to it, but I'm not going to be able to put that grease in there that has a lot of zinc in it, all the extra stuff that's in there. So my philosophy is, and my school of thought is you need to leave the oil that you're breaking in with all the extra zinc in it, you need to leave it in the engine and run it for 500 miles, because it's going to continue to protect the metal parts inside the engine as you drive it. So that's what I think we should do. But you guys comment below, tell me what you think. So should you change the oil as soon as you break it in, or should you leave the oil in it and wait 500 miles and then change it? I'm of this hand. I'm of the left-hander. I think we should leave the oil in it for 500 miles and drive it. But you guys give me your opinion. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think's right, or what you've been taught. I'm just curious. Comment below and let me know. All right, that's it, guys. All right, I'm done. Talk to you later. Bye.